Okay, so nature man spirit complex, when you are writing this, you have to keep these things in mind. First and foremost, that where was it given? NMS complex was given in the study of Mahler, right? So in the Mahler, he has put forth this complex, this theoretical framework to understand Indian, so in understanding Indian ecological aspect or Indian cultural ecology. So this has been one of the important theoretical framework to understand. So now when you are writing an answer, what all aspects you should include here? What you have written, I want you to just mention in the comments regarding this answer. To understand tribal cosmology and ecological adaptation, what you people have written. So any of you, please try to comment there so that I can understand how you are thinking. Okay, first in the intro, we'll be writing NMS complex. It's a foundational theoretical framework in Indian ecological anthropology, where he has given it, what is it, and he also says that the tribal life, if you look at, it is not divisible, it is indivisible. Okay, fine. I understood what you were trying to write, but how to put it like an answer? Like, we know that it tries to explain the relation between the tribes and the nature, but how to put it, we'll learn now. Okay, so it is indivisible, tripartite interrelationship, where ecology, social structure, and supernatural beliefs form a unified whole. That is nature, okay, ecology, social structure, and the belief. So the spirit, man, and the nature, NMS complex, right? So the nature, what is it? You know it very well. It represents the ecosystem that provides the material base. And example for Malers, Rajmal Hills are not just land but a sacred habitat. Man, the social base, and when you write the body, you'll be writing about all of three. You'll be writing what you have learned in your basic books. So, right? So, this is the physical base, nature, and then man is the social base, then supernatural base is the spirit, right? And how they are all interrelated, just draw the diagram and show it. So, they are not isolated. So, now where the problem comes is we don't know the examples to write, okay, and how to show that they are all interacting. So if you see, there are Pahan or Oja who act as a mediators, or you have shamans who act as a mediators between human and spirits, right? And Malay's community own the land as a community. As a community, they own the land, and there is no class stratification, right? You also have the shaman Gosain belief, right? So that you can write, and it is not just with respect to Maler I am talking about. LP Vidyarthi has given about it, and you have in your book, but there are multiple tribes who are following it. Okay, so now in the first part you are easily addressing that understanding tribal cosmology. Then coming to ecological adaptation, so here sometimes we don't find the example. Okay, so here what you can write when you write ecological adaptation and subsistence practices, NMS complex, here you can write NMS complex serves as a culturally encoded conservation system. So first is subsistence of life as a ritual. So you can see shifting cultivation or zoom cultivation or kallu is not just an economic activity but a religious one. So Vidyarthi observed that LP Vidyarthi observed that before clearing before clearing the forest land, rituals are performed to seek permission from the forest spirits. So before they would clear the land for zoom cultivation, they used to seek permission from the forest spirits. That means it is preventing over exploitation. Okay, next, second thing is it is helping in formation of moral ecology. If you notice the Verrier Elvin, when he studied biogas, that they used to refrain from ploughing the land, okay, because they used to think that they are hurting the motherland or mother earth. Okay, so they consider the land as the breast of the mother earth. So if they plow the land using iron ploughs, that means they are hurting the mother earth. So this shows that ecological adaptation is done through the moral behavior. Okay, so you can see that Verrier Elvin, when he studied Baiga, you can write it that they refrain from using iron ploughs to avoid hurting the breast of the mother earth, showing an eco spiritual adaptation to maintain the soil health. Then what else you can write? You can also write one more work by Imanu. Okay, so MB Imanu, when the study was done for the Todas of the Nilgiris, whose pastoral economy is built around the sacred buffaloes. Here, subsistence is inseparable from the spirits again. So, there is cultural regulation. The third point is cultural regulation. So, in this way, ecological adaptation is done. One is through moral ecology, next is cultural regulation, other is rituals as subsistence. Okay, so subsistence and ritual are same now. So because of these things there is ecological adaptation, and that is leading to the practices which is not leading them to exploit the environment, rather they are maintaining subsistence as a strategy. Okay, so if the same is given to us, we'll try to exploit the very next day because we don't have any such beliefs. Next, contemporarily you can write R.S. Mann and Pradeep Singh even in 2020. R.S. Mann in 2025 and Pradeep Singh in 2024. See here, when they do the pastoral activities of buffaloes, okay, so they consider everything to be sacred. So now they don't treat buffaloes as a tool to exploit all the milk and sell it into the market and get too much of outcome. So their intention is not that. They treat it as they treat it very sacredly. So here you can understand that they are not exploiting anything here. So whatever the ecology that is there or the ecological system that is there, that is not being disturbed. Okay, see, moral ecology is a belief, and here it is being regulated. Okay, so you have a belief that you will hurt the mother earth, so that is moral ethical value. But here it is culture is regulating, you can't do it, people will punish you if you do it. So culturally it is regulated. Sai, I hope you understood the difference. And next, Pradeep Singh in 2024 or RS Man in 2025, what they have showed is modern pressures have led the tribes like Gond or Baiga but they still, even after they are coming under the modern pressures, still these people tend to interpret the ecological changes like rainfall or forest loss, whatever is happening, they are trying to look at it from the spiritual aspect only. Okay, so they believe that whatever is happening, it is because of spiritual causation. Okay, so that's how they are looking. So this proves that tribal adaptation is governed by moral economy rather than pure market rationality. Just briefing it again. First thing, you'll be writing what is an MS complex, where did he give, and this is the theoretical framework, foundational theoretical framework for understanding ecological adaptation in India. Okay, please don't message, I think it is making noise. So if there is anything, I'll take up at the end. Okay, fine. And next, we'll be writing what all it consists: nature, man, spirit. You'll explain this, and then after that, you'll be giving examples. Ecological adaptation. First, subsistence as a ritual. Okay, so if they are trying to do something, they are taking permission from the spirits, then only they are doing. So they are, because of that, they are not over exploiting, rather they are trying to be in control. Then moral ecology is something through the beliefs. They are not doing it because they believe it is going to hurt the mother earth. Okay, they are not ploughing it using the iron ploughs. Okay, because it is going to hurt the mother earth. So some beliefs are not letting them exploit the nature, and because of that there is subsistence. And then Imanu, when observed the Toda pastoral economy, there he has observed that there is cultural regulation. Because of that also, now when they treat buffaloes as a sacred, and buffalo complex as a sacred complex, now how to milk it, how much to milk, who should do it, so everything is regulated within the culture. So because of that, they won't violate it, and everything is done within the limit. Okay, so that is going to help you maintain the subsistence. So here, through these examples, we are explaining ecological adaptation and the subsistence practices using the examples. Okay, so then the contemporary aspect, you can write R.S. Mann or Pradeep Singh. Okay, where they say that even today, despite coming under the pressure of globalization and urbanization and the trade that is happening, even now also tribes try to see the changes that is happening within the forest as a result of spiritual causation rather than the rational activity. Okay, so what you think scientific evidence, they don't accept it. They try to look at it that their god did not let the rain to fall, and that's why there is no rainfall, or the decline in the forest is because of the spirits only. Maybe the wrong spirits are trying to do this. Okay, that's how they understand, right? So what you can write in conclusion is that the NMS complex reveals the tribals world views, how they sustain or how they maintain environmental balance through internalized moral economy. So what is it showing? It is showing the tribal worldview and helping us understand how they are maintaining the internalized moral economy. Okay, so how they are sustaining environment, these things you'll be mentioning. Then going to the next question. Tribal cosmology means that their belief in the gods and how they are interacting with the spiritual aspect. See, conclusion is very simple. What is it showing? It is trying to show the tribal worldview, how they are combining both, how they are sustaining environmental balance through the moral economy, right? So through internalized moral economy. So this you can write. Or sorry, through internalized moral regulation. Okay, moral economic regulation. Next. So coming to the next question. So here again it's simple that religious conversion is not merely spiritual act but a socio-political act and economic strategy. Discuss with reference to Dalit and tribals. So here in Indian context, if you see, religious conversion is viewed as, try to listen, in the Indian context, when you look at the religious conversion, it is generally seen as a counterculture strategy. Okay, for marginalized groups, especially Dalits and tribals, shifting faith is rarely about theology. So they don't shift faith because of the belief system. Okay, it is not just the shifting of theological transition. Okay, so here there is one belief with respect to God, here there is other belief. For them it is not just theological shift, but it is a calculated move. It is a calculated move to exit the rigid social hierarchy, exit the rigid social hierarchy and social exclusion, and now by exiting this they want to negotiate for dignity. So it is a calculated move to exit this and negotiate for dignity, resource, or political identity. So first understand this religious conversion from Indians, it is a counterculture strategy from Indian context if you look at. And this, if you look at especially Dalits and tribes, there this conversion, it is not happening just for the sake of change, they want to change the belief, but it is much more because they are facing some issues with respect to the social hierarchy and the social exclusion they are undergoing. So now they want to exit it and they want to negotiate. Now by entering the new faith, they are going to negotiate for asking, by asking the dignity, they want the resources and they want that identity for them. So this is what the religious conversion in India meant. Okay, so now this strategy is not just spiritual act but a socio-political, economical and economic. Okay, so now first you will be writing social emancipation from dignity. So here first itself you can write Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, right? Buddhist conversion. This is a template for the conversion as a protest. So first is social aspect, social emancipation and dignity. Okay, you can write the example of Dr. Ambedkar. And then one more recent study by Kukil Gogoi. Okay, so for them, he identified that Kukil Gogoi says that it provides an alternate moral community. Okay, by changing your faith, you are getting alternate moral community. Okay, and next, economic strategy. Here they want to gain the social capital. So in remote tribal belts, Christian missionaries provided schools, hospitals where the state was absent. Because of that, their social status or upward mobility happened. Okay, and at the same time, new faiths often prohibit intoxicants, okay, leading to significant economic savings and increased focus on agriculture, because because of the, see, it is just like the question, impact of Christianity on tribes or impact of any other religion on tribes. How is moral community related to the social aspect, socio political, sir? First of all, this is being talked regarding the social change. Okay, so it is a social strategy. What is moral community? When you are being mistreated in your own community, now there, if you go or if you change your faith, they are going to be there with you. So that is going to give you some moral support to you, right? So that is moral community. So it is a part of social emancipation, overcoming this aspect. Next, economic strategy, upward mobility is happening, and you also notice that there is decreased expenditure on intoxicants, and because of that, they could increase their savings. Then, next is, if you have any doubts, once I am done with the question, I'll ask you, then you can type your doubts. Okay, so now please don't disturb in between. Actually, it is making noise for the recording, so that would be disturbance for those who are watching the recording later. Okay, next is political assertion, how they are going to do it. See, northeastern tribes, see, there is one video of mine, impact of Christianity on tribes, on YouTube. In YouTube channel, you can go and search for this video. So impact of religion, or especially the Christianity on tribes, so you can watch there how the political assertion is made. Okay, so in the northeast, how the political assertion is made, please try to look at. I'm just giving you one study. Ik Narang argues that anti-conversion laws that are framed, okay, so which say that religious change is going to disturb the public order. Okay, so now because of change in the religion, there is disturbance in the public order, and henceforth it should be regulated. So through this, he says that it is not just regulating the conversion, but it is also regulating the social and political mobility of Dalits and Adivasis. So this regulation is also happening, not just the conversion aspect. So I have discussed many studies how the political assertion has been made because of Christianity there. Because in the northeast, you will be noticing many of the statehood demands or the regionalistic feelings, how it developed because of Christianity there. You can just watch it. So from there, you will get the clarity. Okay, and the next is the contemporary study by Garima Yadav reveals that opposition to conversion is driven by anxieties over demographic dominance and caste hierarchy. So while the marginalized groups are using conversion to claim equality and to overcome the social exclusion, what these other dominant groups are doing, they are utilizing it for doing reconversion, that is garvapsi, as a political counter strategy. As a political counter strategy, why they are doing this political counter strategy? Because they have anxiety that tomorrow that particular religion which is being converted is going to be dominant. So for that reason, these people are using the reconversion. See, one conversion is being done for overcoming by the marginalized groups, and reconversion is being done by the dominant groups to ensure that there is no dominance. So they are using garvapsi or political reconversion, they are using reconversion as a political counter strategy to maintain the status quo. So this was the findings that was given by Garima Yadav and not me. Okay. So the conclusion, what you can write here in the conclusion, you can mention that tribals in India or the marginalized Dalits in India generally use the religious conversion as a survival strategy. So it represents a conscious decision to exit social order that denies them equality and enter a promising institutional support and political distinctiveness. This is the general conclusion that you can write, but try to balance it. Okay, so you should ensure that you mention, so this is a social thing, but when we look at from Indian political point of view, it's altogether a different issue. So I'm not talking about it, I'm just giving you an answer from social or anthropological point of view here. So from anthropological point of view, it represents a decision or the a decision by the marginal groups to exit the social order that denies them equality, and they want to enter a promising institutional support and a political distinctiveness, be it any religion to any religion. If the movement is happening by these lower marginalized people or the lower strata people, it is to overcome something. Okay, so here we are not considering which religion is being converted to which religion, but on an average we are trying to say that this happens for these reasons. Okay, so try to give a social and anthropological answer, not the politically motivated conclusion. Now you can open up, you can ask the question. Can we explain how religious conversion has not helped social emancipation of Dalits or further marginalization of tribes before concluding? Yeah, definitely you can write that. See, because now the question, what is it saying? It is saying that why they are using, is it only for spiritual purpose or for other purpose? Now we have shown it is not just for spiritual purpose, there is major motive is the other purpose. So they asked, discuss with respect to it, and in the end you can write 2 3 points. See, they are going for this reason, but they are not getting it there. They are not getting they are not getting that identity, they are not getting that political rights, or they are not getting the dignity even after conversion in some religions. That thing through examples you can mention. Okay, so I hope you are clear, Ravi. And then Sai, how is caste hierarchy challenged? It is of ascribed nature. By challenging religion, only social mobility. Sai, I didn't get your question. You can unmute and ask. If you want, I can allow you to unmute. Sai, you can unmute and ask your question. So if you have anything, then you can put it in a detailed way. Can you please repeat contemporary in sacred complex? You can watch it when the upload. What do you call? When the recording is uploaded, Shubham, because I think I've explained it twice with respect to this. Prashant Yadav, right? So here, what is it being said? Chardham, now it is promoting the national feeling, or it is being seen as a national feeling. So it is cultural integrity is happening over here, cultural integration is happening at the same time. These things I think is, it's very simple. फिर से एक बार देख लेना बाद में, अगर समझ में नहीं आए तो आई विल रिपीट इट अगेन. You can message me. And any other doubt, sir? In economic strategy, first point is missionaries, and what is the second one? Yeah. Constitutional safeguards. If you want to write, you can write. The question is not asking about any safeguards, they are just asking whether it's a spiritual move or it's a socio-political and economical move. So here we justified what they have asked in the question. So if you want to write, if you have time to write those things, you can do. Based on the question language, we should also show some examples of spiritual conversion as well, as it's said not merely. So that's what I said. So you have to use some examples. Definitely you have to use some examples to show it. Okay, so that's why I said you should watch one of the video that I have given there. I have given plenty of examples over there so that you can see and write in that question. Okay, so I'll post that link here itself so that you can watch it later. Just a second, I'm posting the link of that video so that you can watch it. DGS conversion. We have already. Yeah, here is the link. You people can go and watch it. Preeti, the recordings are available on YouTube for now. For the coming next 5 to 10 days, I'm going to keep it here for, till the time everyone gets access. So once everybody gets access who have enrolled, we'll remove it from YouTube. Yes, you can write any example, there is no issue. But the question is specifically asking with reference to Dalit and tribal contexts. Tara, I hope you got it right. The question is asking Dalit and tribal context. So unless and until you cannot show it, it is not possible to include them. So any other questions? I think most of your questions are addressed. Julian Stewart's cultural ecology for NMS complex. You can write, but what is the use of writing when question is asking critically evaluate or analyze its limitations? So there is no point, right? If only NMS complex is given, then you can use the application of what Julian Stewart has been put forth. So Julian Stewart, I told you, right? Julian Stewart wrote the foreword to this book. You can write Julian Stewart, but in which question you have to do, you should be very clear. Right? Any other doubts? Okay, then that's all for today. Thank you, everyone.